You hear about narcissism. Are you familiar with exactly what it is? I think we all think we know a narcissist. Maybe we don't realize we are, if we are one. I don't think a narcissist understands they are narcissists. It's hard to say. Everything you say is right. We know the symptoms, right? What if you are the child of a narcissist? Does that mean you're going to be one? I don't know. Dr. John, I often say, well, that's one for Doc Braccio. That's one for Doc Braccio. That's my go-to thing now, anything psychological. Joining us now every Tuesday, he does this. We call this What's Up, Doc? From Regional Psychological Services, Mr. and Dr. John Braccio. Doc, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, Mike. And the narcissists always kind of fascinate people, okay? Because narcissists are really some combination of being self-absorbed, entitled, opinionated, demanding, selfish, perfect to themselves, and grandiose persons who believe they are always right and want someone to magnify back to them the glory they believe they represent. Now, Mike, even if they're charming and entertaining, and you've known this over the years, if you run into them initially, they wear off as one becomes aware they're really only interested in themselves. In life, as we encounter them, we often ignore them, minimize contact with them, and may even stay away from them permanently. But this is really not possible to do with parents. Not easily, because they raised us, we identify with them, we share family relationships that extend even beyond the parents, and include siblings, relatives, and friends of the family. Because of that, it's important to be able to survive a life when you were raised by narcissists who demand glorification of the many wonders they see in themselves. And that this is how they are. They may even have demanded you be perfect, and you've never lived up to expectations. Like, well, you've never really done what you could have done, or could have worked a little harder. Why didn't you do that? Okay, well, surviving in life when you're raised by narcissists can be very difficult. Really, and if you want to, maintain a relationship with them, you're going to have to do certain things. You're going to first recognize that they are narcissists. And the probability of their changing is very small. It's amazing due to gaslighting and just other techniques how kids sometimes really don't pick up on it. They make all kinds of excuses, even though they've been kind of battered themselves by them. Then make sure you define yourself, and you don't allow your narcissistic parents to define you. You define yourself. You determine what boundaries you're going to have between you and them. They must be very specific, known by both, and stuck to. And recognize the difficulties you may have in maintaining boundaries with parents who predictably know, at least to some degree, how to manipulate you and will use every trick possible to have you again fall under their emotional sway. Limit the amount of time you spend with them consistent with your own mental health needs. And don't allow them to negatively impact your children emotionally, and strictly control and monitor their interactions. And if need be, seek out a trained therapist to help you if you have problems dealing with your narcissistic parents, but feel you need or want to have contact with them for one reason or another. So any way you look at it, if you have narcissistic parents that have raised you and you're still maintaining a relationship with them, and you did not become one of them along the way in terms of being narcissistic, then it can be very difficult to deal with them, have relationships with them. But if you want to do it, you just have to become aware of who they are, what they are, and determine how you're going to interact with them. It's pretty tough to deal with people that want to see the glories, magnified back. Well, hello there. Isn't it good for you to see me again? I'm spending a little time with you. Don't you feel good I'm doing that for you? Look at these ideas I'm giving you today. Or if you had followed my advice along the way, boy, things would be a lot better. You wouldn't be over here complaining about things. This is the world of living with narcissists, and if they're parents, boy, they can have a lot of negative impacts on you in your lifetime.
In thinking of this today, and you had told me you were going to talk about this, I started thinking of who I might know, because I honestly don't really think about it, who might be a narcissist. First I looked in the mirror. I don't think I come under that. I don't think I'm that far. But I have relatives, I have friends who I think fall under this, yet I still get along with them. And I gotta tell you, Doc, these people are high achievers. Is a narcissist destined to be a high achiever? Because they generally are like type A type people.
Well,
Seems like.
I mean, the problem is that some are so annoying and disgusting they can't hold jobs. They just wear everybody up. But yes, if a narcissist can be very successful because they can be charming, they can be scheming, they know what they want, and often they are willing to work for it many times because they want glory. And they can get glory by achieving and doing well. So, yeah, there are narcissists, many narcissists, that are very successful. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And it says, you are, okay? But a lot of times this comes from achieving, overachieving, wanting love, wanting recognition, wanting to be successful. So, yes, being a narcissist, you can be very successful. That doesn't make you that you're more livable to be with, okay, that type thing. But sure, it doesn't have to doom the narcissist, but it certainly can doom the persons around them if they have to interact with them, and if it's a child. Because remember, in the narcissist, they're the ones that want all the glory. They want all the attention. And if you're somebody who's kind of meek and you kind of go along with things, and you're someone who's always, trying to kind of, care for people, because the narcissist can produce people that can be overwhelmed by others. And the danger, if you've grown up with a narcissist and you fall into their sway, is you could end up with a partner that's a narcissist because you're used to it. So you really, if you find that you have been kind of overwhelmed, and you still are, there's still many adults that when they're with their parents, they kind of lose their traction, so to speak, and they'll kind of, give in to what they're saying. They don't really say what they're thinking, within reason. There's no point in fighting and arguing because, parents, kids come through us, not necessarily to us, and they can be quite different in emotional and physical makeup. So, but if you live with somebody who, thinks the sun comes up in the morning so they have light and goes down at night so they can sleep, those are not, these are difficult people to be, to be around. So if you're around one of them, two of them, it can make for a difficult life, and you do need to recognize who they are, and be aware of what you need to do to defend yourself. Because if you're an adult and you're with your parents, this of course be with your child also, and you feel bad afterwards, you've already had a good achievement and you want to go tell your parents you got a promotion or something happened. They say, well, I don't know. I'm not that impressed. Is that all they get? Is that all you did? What, can you do a little more than that?
24 hours. Is that all you accomplished in 24?
And you only have 500 people that report to you? Boy, Chucky down the road has 600. Why don't you work a little harder? It's just, so you do run into that, never can impress them. So it can be a difficult life. They, of course, can produce narcissists, too, because they can also find somebody that they think, represents and glorifies them even more by their achievements. So we see these parents on football fields, on baseball fields, that are demanding their kids be perfect. So it can be a tough life if you're the child of a narcissist. The narcissists, obviously, in many cases, are total failures, hated by others, can't find jobs, tend to have a spouse that takes care of them if they're in a relationship. But on the other hand, your point is a good one. A clever narcissist, scheming, manipulative, can be very, very successful. And there are those that would argue that very top people in their fields, whether they're in politics or business or wherever, tend to have a lot of narcissistic traits within them, but they contain them.
Yeah, in a way it's confidence-like to the nth degree.
Confident to the nth degree. That's right.
Dr. John Braccio, narcissist. Boy. Well, we're up on time. And as always, every time you talk about a different disorder, a different thing, I always look in the mirror, and every time you bring something up, I go, I had a little bit of that in me. I think I've got everything in me, just about. Well, maybe that's narcissistic for me to think that way. I don't know.
Well, I think you're clever and entertaining. I don't see you necessarily as a narcissist. How does that sound? It's a good way to
wait till we have lunch. No. Hey, Doc, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Okay, buddy. Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
See you next week. 1320 WILS 720. We're going to get back with Ryan Schmelz. Joe Biden just banned offshore drilling. What's that doing to Donald Trump's stuff? We'll find that out and more coming up. 1320 WILS, your morning wake up. Back in a minute.